Hey, what's up? My name is Maria. This is my Booktube Newbie tag. I really wanted to do this because I wanted you to get to know me. I wanted to talk about myself for a little bit and about my love of books, and I found this to be the best way. So I'll just start with the questions. The first one is, why did you start this channel? Well, I I simply love reading, and I find it to be not enough lately because I want to talk more about books. I want to immerse myself more in the bookish world and have more people around me that are into books. I think that reading a book with the intent of talking about it is a much better experience of reading it. So I think I'll become a better reader by simply talking about books. What are some fun and unique things you think you can bring to Booktube? I think everybody has a fresh, unique perspective with Booktube because everybody's education and background is different, and mine is no exception. I'm from Eastern Europe, Romania specifically. So, talking about Romanian authors, my favorite, is going to be a different experience for me than for someone else who's not from Romania, for example. So I'll be sure to bring a unique perspective on some authors. However, I also love parenting books because I have a small child, and I'll be talking about my experience with putting the lessons I learned from books into action and applying them on my kids. So I also love classics, of course, and my Eastern education will also be noticeable when I talk about them. So that's why I think everybody's input is different on Booktube. There's no way not to be unique. What are you most excited for about this channel? Actually, exactly that. Talking about Romanian authors, I think nobody's talking about them, and they should be talked about because they are very, very good. Also, this is my passion project. I'm very excited to commit to it long term. Why do you love reading? I don't know. Why do you sleep? Why do you eat? Reading is for me vital. It does more for my mental health than anything else. If I don't read every day, I become grumpy. If I don't read for more than a few days, it's like something missing in my life. What book or series got you into reading? My first book was Nobody's Boy by Hector Malo, a French book. I read it, of course, in Romanian, but my mother started it, and I finished it when I learned how to read. So it spanned for almost a year, but I finished it, and I absolutely loved it. Also, my first series was Mary Poppins, and it was great. It was an awesome book as well. What questions would you ask of your favorite booktubers? I have a lot of questions, and I'll reserve them for when they become my friends. But the most important one for me is, how do you deal with the fear of missing out? I mean, when I have my to be read pile, it's giving me anxiety. Every time I choose a book, it's actually a choice not to read 10 others. So I find it very difficult to cope with that. How do you do it? What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Well, the hardest is obviously talking to the camera. because I have no experience with that and I stumble. I have a lot of and elongating my words. It's very difficult for me. Also, I find it difficult to find my words in English, and um, that is why I make a lot of cuts in my videos and they look horrible. But I know I'll get better at it with time, and also talking in English will develop better as well. I just need a lot of practice, so I'll make a lot of videos. When did you start reading? Well, my mom read to me every night when I was a little child, so I don't know if that counts, but ever since I was a baby, I was reading with my mom. So, if not, well, I started reading when I started reading in school. I simply love reading and I read all my life. I don't remember a time in my life when I wasn't reading actually. Where do you read? Anywhere, everywhere. I read in the park. I read waiting in line, in my bed, at my desk. It doesn't matter. What kind of books do you like to read? I prefer classics, but also biographies and non-fiction. Um, However, lately I've read a lot of parenting books. I find it necessary for being able to look after my child in the best way possible. But in the end, I read mostly anything, whatever title I find interesting. It's actually better to ask what I don't read, and I don't read murder mystery books, detective. That is not to say I haven't read any book like that. I simply choose not to at this time. I don't find them interesting at the moment. What does your book collection look like? Well, I can't show it right now because I'm vlogging in a different room away from my child. But I mostly have old Romanian books, and they are classics translated into Romanian. However, I currently mostly read on my Kindle. I haven't bought physical copies lately, just because my bookshelves are really full. That's it with the Booktube Newbie tag. Thank you for watching. I'd love it if you can subscribe if you're interested in the same genres as I am, and I'll be seeing you in the comments.